right, it is Monday, October 3rd, 2022. We'll call our meeting to order. Start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, our next order of business is the roll call.
Simonson.
Yes.
Rickroll.
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Holm.
Yes.
Okay. Can I get a motion for an approval of tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Okay, we got a motion by Lyon, seconded by Holm. We have no discussion. Take the roll.
Rickroll.
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Holm.
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
Next, we have public participation. Do we have anyone from the public who wants to get up and address the council? If not, we'll move on to our consent agenda, which consists of the minutes of the September 19th, 2022 regular city council meeting, bills payable through October 3rd, 2022 in the amount of $140,618.06, the renewal of a Class C beer permit and Sunday sales filed by Kwik Star, number 212, and a new Class C liquor license and Sunday sales filed by Mega's Grill.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Lyon, seconded by Holm. We have no discussion. Take the roll.
Lyon.
Yes.
Holm.
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
Rickroll.
Yes.
Okay. Now we made it to new business. Item A is a resolution approving amendment number 2 to Origin Design contract for the Stormwater Levee Project in the increased amount of $26,800. Tell us about it.
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Council. I prepared you the best portrayal I could of trying not to extend the city too far beyond what it should on this project, and it's the nature of the market right now. We opened bids, Frank, Origin Design and I, probably about a month and a half, 2 months now, and as you can imagine, you're looking at a bid tabulation sheet where it's just like, the right thing to do here is to not do the project or go back to the drawing board, and we weren't sure we could go back to the drawing board per the EDA. Push come to shove and putting them into making a choice themselves at the end of the day. They want their grant dollars used too, which is encouraging. Origin Design got to work right away at that time on making some decent proposal to get us back to that $2.8, $2.9 million range. And ultimately, in its most simple terms, it takes out 2 major pump stations as part of this project and retains about 3/5 of the project overall. The most significant needs are still at the stormwater levee. Everything at the stormwater levee is still being included in this proposal that they're going to put forward. Due to the work of the redesign and them having to rebid the project, take on answers, and take these clarifications, they're asking for an amendment to their contract. Going back to 2020, their original contract for this entire project was $445,000. They didn't use all of that. They put a freeze to it to kind of compartmentalize those expenses. I did have some questions about how much money is involved with a public bidding process, and they said, good question, but we have to, they put a maximum sort of a large-scale estimate at what they think it might cost, and they think that $26,800 will do it. I do too. We might find that our contractors know the project already and that this will be a very simple transition for us. But overall, I think this is a good move for the city. It definitely addresses some needs that aren't being addressed right now. I think it would be foolish for us to bypass those grant dollars, especially when they're waiting for us and we've planned for it years prior. So I do recommend this.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Can I get a motion for this?
So move.
Okay.
Can I ask a question at this point?
Sure.
My understanding of this is that we're reducing the scope of the project by about 30%, but we're still going to be covering the important needs that the project was started
That's correct.
for. Okay. So we're
And-
okay. We're okay.
We are. I would say additionally too, some of the thinking behind this is that we still own the engineering plans for that other part of the project. there will be another opportunity for us. I mean, the plans are there, they just have to be re-stamped when the time comes. A grant has to come forward, and we'll finish it off. But not at the expense at 100% of the city's cost. That's what we ran into here. So I think this is smart business on our part.
Thank you. Second.
Okay. We have a motion by Rickrell, seconded by Holm. If we have no discussion, take the roll.
Holm,
Yes.
Simonson,
Yes.
Rickrell,
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Item B is a resolution approving a bid in the amount of $29,088.77 submitted by CentraPro Painters for the YMCA Painting Project with staff authority to approve possible change orders in the amount not to exceed $40,000.
Thank you, Mayor. I will invite Scott up to the podium. Just keep it simple, keep it short, and keep it sweet, okay?
No jokes.
Most would say my jokes aren't that funny to begin with, so I think I should be okay. Mayor and council, I appreciate your time today. We actually were quite pleased with the bids that we did get, so we were able to secure 3 bids as shown in the material. Low bid $29,088.77 by CentraPro Painters. We have checked their references, very positive. They actually have over 50 professional painters on staff. The initial spec was around $100,000. That would have included painting throughout the facility. We kind of went back and took some things out to go ahead and reduce that amount, painting the things that we feel are most important in the building, and then removing those things that we felt just didn't need to be done right now. So, any questions on that?
This is interior only?
This is interior, correct? Yep.
Any plans to paint the exterior?
We did not include it at this time.
Okay.
I know like our blue panels as you drive by are starting to fade, so we will need to address those at some point in time, but that's not included in this. Thank you.
What is your plan for another $10,000?
You mean the not to exceed number?
Correct.
I can speak to that, Scott. So I did this once on an agenda prior, testing the council's interest and if there were change order approvals to come through, to not have that come to the forefront of your mind. We have bids here well underneath what we thought was going to be the budgeted amount. I'm certainly open to a reduced amount if you wish to alter that resolution, but that's something that I am responsible for, just so that we can recognize and be budget responsible staff without having to return to council on that.
The original bid project was painting several areas, correct? So we were never at 100,000. That was just an outline goal of the Y. Was their budgeted amount was $100,000.
That was actually, we asked Mark Sheets just as a volunteer to help to get us initial cost estimates. And that would have been painting all of the ductwork, ceilings. Those are kind of things that we took out. We took out offices, storage rooms, things like that, things that we just didn't feel needed to be painted. But we're still painting those things that are most highly visible and those things that we feel definitely are needed.
Do we have a motion?
So move.
Okay, we have a motion by Holm.
Second.
We have a second by Rickrell. If we have no more discussion, then take the roll.
Simonson,
Yes.
Rickrell,
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Holm,
Yes.
Okay, that motion passes. Item C is a resolution approving a bid in the amount of $97,900 submitted by Breitbach Floor Covering for the YMCA Flooring Project with staff authority to approve possible change orders in the amount not to exceed $115,000. Go ahead.
Also with this, we initial cost estimates on this were at about $133,000. Being able to keep it local with folks that I think we all know and are comfortable with, I think is a blessing for this portion of the project. And I would remind everybody too, I know all of you are aware, but those that are listening in, it is a city building. We manage city revenues and city expenses. The city contracts the YMCA to manage it. So when city dollars are utilized, they're utilized to invest in a city facility. So it is not a YMCA-owned facility. So I always like to make that distinction so everybody's aware of that.
Okay, any questions?
Are we going to always have this not to exceed thing? I mean, do we expect change orders on every bid we get? Do we hold no one to actually their bid? Or do we think that we don't do the bidding process well enough to actually get a proper bid? Because it just seems really weird to me that we're constantly, that's, the problem I have with both of these resolutions is this kind of, not that I don't trust staff's oversight, but it just seems like we now expect to have change orders on everything. Seems,
Some of
Yeah.
that could be because of inflation.
That's part of it.
yeah.
I mean, I take this language directly from my previous experience and some management work my former boss did. That's where this comes from. And I took the stance of, the question of the prior resolution of, okay, well, but does this mean you're gonna be doing stuff outside the bid work? No. So it's specific to what happened inside of this bid, and if there's some sort of catastrophic problem, are we holding it to them? Yes, but in case that there's some extreme issue, I didn't want to have to re-bother you with this sort of a problem. And with having this budget amount in place and having this, I guess, exceeding expectations in this, I thought that we had room to be able to propose that. That's where all this comes from. But I 100% see your point in this. And if you wish to stop this sort of a language now and here, I'll listen to you and follow your motion as you see fit here. I just want to make sure that, if we have to revisit this, then all of a sudden, this will be another item in the future that
Right, yeah.
if we're above contract, it'll be coming back to you.
well, it seems like the city gets hit with change orders on every single thing. Now, I understand when you're digging up Platt Street, you're gonna find things that are unusual and unexpected.
Right.
But it seems to me when you're painting the YMCA, it seems if someone says they can paint it for $40,000, I would just think that they would come and paint it. So I guess that's where I'm just coming in. It seems to me, I mean,
Well, and the
I'm all
only-
in favor of painting the YMCA, but I don't like resolutions where basically it's like, we're now saying in a public forum to the people who are doing the work, hey, by the way, the council's already got a blank check ready for you, so you might as well start looking for something, change orders or whatever.
That's a good point.
I agree, and that's kind of why I brought up the whole 10,000 thing earlier. Scott, I have no problem with the why, but at the same time, I'm not in favor of department heads having, that leeway. Not saying Scott's gonna do anything, not saying any of the other department heads are gonna do anything, but to Mark's point, exactly what was just said, if somebody's watching this, they'll just say, oh, okay, well, we forgot primer in one room, so here's another $30,000. Well, that'll have to come back, but at the same time, if it's a $50,000 overage, then they won't, so. I don't have a problem with, like you said, Platt Street project and things like that. There's going to be things that happen, but there's a bid, department heads need to lock out a 90-day bid, something like that, then that's what they need to do. But I agree, the contract needs to be point blank, I would say.
Yeah, and Mark, to your point, as far as paint goes, I wouldn't see where something could jump in there. The off chance with flooring, we spec, the products that we spec are what's recommended by YUSA. They use products obviously nationwide in YMCA's, and there's certain products that they, hear your vendors. And really what we do is we look at quality and we look at price. The flooring upstairs, the product that's spec'd of the list is the one that we feel is the highest quality at the fairest price. If they then come back and say, well, you know what? We can't get it. I mean, we literally cannot get it. We've got a grant as a portion of that. If we can't do it on a timely basis, we could end up losing that grant, which could then mean that they then say, well, you know what, we can't get that, but we can get this, and it's gonna be $10,000 more. And that's where, Josh and I talk, and then we bring that to council. But that would be the only thing that I could see. The scope of the project is very straightforward as far as what they need to do and the products they need to spec. It's just if they're not able to get those products, that would be the only thing that I could see that would come up.
Did they give you any indication that there was gonna be problems getting product?
No, not at all. And with this project, I mean, we're not doing it until April of next year. So they've got plenty of time to lock in and secure those products. We're using the same products we used them down in Bittner a year ago. We're using them at the Eldridge Y, which is also a city, that's a city school Y partnership. So we're able to get those products there. I wouldn't see why it would be an issue with this one.
Is there any protocol in place to handle the increase in a bid price or a project price by somebody that maybe it's not quite what it should be?
Well, if they,
I mean, like
they-
was Mr. Lyon had a
Sure.
good point, really good point. If they know that we'll go that high, more than likely, they're gonna try. So is there any protocol in place to control that?
well, outside of something that definitely needs to be changed, that's different than what was in our RFP, there would be no reason for a bill that would come in higher than what they spec'd. So what they bid is what they bid. It would just be a change in product or something like that. Or maybe both Josh and I went through the RFPs, my bosses went through them, we walked the building several times. We're comfortable that it's all in there, the meat's in there. There's always that, outlying chance, well, we missed a room. Well, that's where we figure out, are we gonna paint it ourselves? Are we gonna, so we take a look at that. But once again, we've gone through those RFPs so many times, I can't imagine that we would have missed anything.
Recommend, based on what I'm hearing tonight, and I do appreciate the guidance for future resolutions, based on what I'm hearing. So I'll take that in the future, to pull out that second part of the resolution, and then we hold it to that. And if we have to have an instance where we're back here talking, that'll be forward to council if there's some sort of increased change order.
I'm assuming that if you do have to approve some change orders, it will filter back to us, that we know that happened,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. Yeah, that would be in our financial statements, 100%. And if things were running out of control, we'd be sure to let you know on those sorts of things. And Scott would inform me if things are getting problematic.
Is this project, do you have the money in your CIP to do this project?
Oh, yeah, we've got that and more.
Okay.
Yeah, we've actually been able to raise, what are we at, about 225,000 is what we've raised, and we'll have some more money coming in too. And then obviously the CDBG, and then YMCA, the Iowa Mississippi Valley kicked in 100,000, so CDBG was at 500. So we've been pretty fortunate from a fundraising, from a grant standpoint with this. The way the numbers are looking now, total CIP usage, I think right now we're looking at 176, and it could be even a little bit less than that, but we'll see.
Okay.
He's well within his marks, especially with the private donations help and then the CDBG that came in. I mean, that was a big hit for the YMCA. Certainly helpful.
Okay. Well, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Okay, motion by Lyon,
Second.
seconded by Rickroll. You have any more discussion? And take the roll. Oh, do you have something?
I was just going to say, to clarify that starting with the way the resolution's read, that removing everything from the word with and beyond, correct? So it's resolution approving bid in the amount of $97,900 submitted by Breitbach Flooring for the YMCA Flooring Project.
Do we want to include that?
Agreed.
I was just making sure that's clear.
Okay. Do the motion and second still stand?
Yep.
Okay, then take the roll.
Rickrell?
Yes.
Lyon?
Yes.
Holm?
Yes.
Simonson?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
If I could do one quick PSA too, at the football game this Friday, our home football game, we'll be tossing out YMCA shirts with hashtag Wear Your Y. Our dance team will be performing between third and fourth quarter. Be passing out t-shirts. We encourage people to take pictures in their YMCA apparel. Go ahead and post that to our Facebook page, and we're going to do a voting contest. The person that gets the most votes gets a $100 Kwik Star gift card. So one more way to draw more attention to our YMCA and the good work that we're doing.
Okay,
And tomorrow, 10:30, check out our Facebook page. There's going to be a special post. Can't tell you any more right now. 10:30 tomorrow morning. You're going to be excited.
okay, thank you. All right, we made it now to reports and communications. Do we have anything from any of the council members? If not, city manager?
Just three quick things. Community may notice we started friction sealing today. Had a fun meeting for Destination Iowa, and Councilman Lyon was there today, and the county supervisors were, you're doing seal coating, and you got the brown, and I grew up on Binkley Road in Stockton, and I'm like, I don't think that it was portrayed that we're gonna have brown streets, and This is an iron ore mix going, that's a penetrating sealing, so it looks like a dark gray in the first place, but it comes out black, but that's because it's a fine granular, dark gray cat litter-like substance that's made of iron ore. It's kind of an interesting material and process, but obviously we're happy it's just starting and here before the winter. Street improvement plan offers are in, hoping to discuss that next week with the Public Works Committee. And I just kind of want to throw a kudos to Chief Zymet and Sergeant Corey Pirtle for being aware and awake of a Dubuque case that was an armed robbery at Dunkin' Donuts that ended up being intercepted here in Maquoketa. So not in our town sort of experience. So I just want to say congrats to the PD for picking that up and showing good face to everyone in the law enforcement world in our area.
Okay, that it? I have a question for Frank. When was the last time our roads were seal coated, Frank?
I can't honestly answer that.
Okay. All right, well, we have no executive session, so with that, I'd accept the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Rickrell,
Second.
seconded by Holm. All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Recording.